Hey, welcome back to my, I thought I saw something there. Welcome to my channel. I am here for another weekly vloggy vlog, and I actually have this vision in my head that I'm gonna read 7 books this week. So, I'm outside right now. The first book I'm gonna finish is Dinner with a Perfect Stranger, boom, by David Gregory, because I need to read this for a book club that I'm a part of. So, it's gonna be the first book, and I'm probably gonna finish that within like the next 10 minutes that I'm sitting outside here. And I know that's kind of cheating, but you know what? It's my game. I make the rules, okay? Anyways, did you see that? Like, can you tell? I broke my headphones and like one side pops, and I'm just like hyper aware that it feels like really loose. Anyways, I needed a new pair of headphones anyways, because these, like, the microphone is so horrible on Beats. Don't get Beats for talking. It's not it. All right, back to the books and the reason we're here. Once I'm done with Dinner with the Perfect Stranger, which I'm gonna finish right outside, I am gonna read this book, which I took the I took the dust jacket off. So I'll put a picture right here of the book, but this is Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. A synopsis would be good, right? Okay. Dinner with the Perfect Stranger is about a guy who gets an invitation randomly at his house to have dinner with an unlikely guest. And that person is Jesus H. Christ, okay? It's honestly a really short and quick read, and I don't know, like, thus far it doesn't feel very much like fiction, because it really just feels like this author's interpretation of what religion and Christianity is, and that's really it. I don't know. I was expecting, a little more imagination. I mean, there are some really funny parts in this book where the guy's like obviously super hesitant to accept that the guy that he's having dinner with is Jesus Christ. So I honestly can't even remember the funny quote now. It just left my brain as I was speaking. But the other book I'm reading, it's the total opposite. A book about a guy having dinner with Jesus. This is fiction, by the way. It is fiction. This book is called Sleep Tight. It's about basically this guy who, he's a serial unaliver, and he used to do these horrible things inside his house. And he catches people by pretending to be a priest. So then once he gets caught, he stops talking completely. So people started calling him Father Silence. I don't know why that I guess I know why it reminded me of the Silent Patient, because Silent Patient stopped talking once she was caught. He got caught, he stopped talking, and then they started calling him Father Silence. So Father Silence was caught and put in jail by this guy named Bert and his partner. And now, on the day of Father Silence's execution, my good sis, who is also a detective and the daughter of the guy whose name I can't remember that helped Bert put Father Silence away, she's dealing with an unaliver who is going after her family, I think. I'm not sure if what I said ruins the book, because I do not read the back of the book for like scary books, spooky books, thrillers, horrors, anything that like I just want to be surprised. I don't read the back of the book. So if I did ruin something, I'm sorry, but I don't think I did, because that's just like one very small portion of the book. I mean, it is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and start reading. He has good plans for me. I finished Dinner with a Perfect Stranger. I gave it 3 stars. I feel like the dialogue was completely unrealistic, and given that the entire book was dialogue, that is, you know, unfortunate. However, I do think it was very thought-provoking, and so just for the food for thought that I got out of it, I gave it the 3 stars. What can I say? I'm an easy girl to please. All right, so I've been reading Sleep Tight since I made it to page 142. I don't think that what I said before is a spoiler, so that's good, right? Anyways, this book got so flipping good. I feel like the beginning of the book was kind of like slow. I think it's because it's not a fantasy book. It's more like a horror book, all right? It's really spooky. It's not for the faint of heart. However, much like a fantasy, there is kind of a lot of like backstory going on. A lot of like characters with their history. So like the main character, I can't remember if her name is Amy ? Tess. Her name is Tess. Okay? Too many books in here. Tess has she's like very multifaceted as a character. She struggles with addiction. She struggles with drinking. It's generational because her father also struggled with these things. She had a couple of things going on with her relationship with Justin, who's a psychologist, who is her husband. And then they have a lot of things in their past that they're kind of dealing with, while she's also dealing with those addictions. And she's also kind of uncovering some repressed memories that she has from childhood, that play into the story, and all of these things play into the story. And that's just one character. Then you have like her father and his like things that play into the story, Justin's things that play into the story, Tess's partner Dave, his wife, how they both play into it. It's just a lot, okay? It's all good. I can see how it all relates to the crime and like what's going on. This is like a very personal crime for these people, but English, hello. It's just a lot to like keep inside my noggin, especially because I was reading the other book. Anyways, the point is, I'm on page 140 and it has gotten really good. Like, some of the psychological stuff that's going on is blowing my mind. My heart was just racing as I was reading. It's kind of hard to put down. And then on top of that, like most of the chapters are pretty short. Some of them are like 10 pages, but most of them are shorter than that. So you like read through it really fast, and it definitely gives you that page turning, like heart racing, what's gonna happen feeling. And I'm just having a great time. So that is what I'm living for right now. And honestly, this also gives like unclear if this is going to be like a paranormal book or not. I'm not giving anything away. Like, I won't say if it is or it isn't, but there's just some things that are happening that you're just like, how is this even going on right now? So that's me screaming because I can't even with this book. Oh my Lanta. Woo! It's stressing me out. I might have to pray after this. Anyways, I'm gonna try to get cozy, and then I'm gonna try to, you know, with a warm bath, get in bed and read this. I open the window, it's cool out, so it's gonna feel amazing, and hopefully I will get at least close to finishing that book today, because I said I wanted to read 7 books in this vlog, and I made the TBR. All right, I have, and I'm not going to go through each of them right now. I'll go through it as I read them, but really quickly, I have Big Swiss, Hera, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, and A Dark and Drowning Tide. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 books, plus 5 with Sleep Tight, 6 with Dinner with a Perfect Guest. And I feel that we're going to do it. We'll see. Stay tuned. Well, you're going to find out in like 20 to 30 minutes. I will find out at the end of the week, but it is what it is. You get what you get. I cannot see heaven being much better than this. Blessings on blessings on blessings. I'm losing my freaking marbles. It is so late. I meant to go to sleep like an hour ago, but I couldn't put this down. Now I'm on like page 200. It's so good. There's so much going on. My heart is still racing, and so I'm gonna have to put it down, because my heart is like, my little heart can't take it, and I know I'm gonna have nightmares given that I'm reading this so late at night. So I don't know what it looks like halfway. I'm definitely more than halfway, but I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna read something else, just to make sure that I don't get nightmares about the flippin' masks in this book. So I think I'm gonna pick up A Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft. Allison Saft wrote The Fragile Enchantment, and this is a more like, I want to say it gives dark academia. It's a fantasy book, and basically there's a girl named Lorelai. She wants to be a naturalist. I don't know what that means, but basically she has this opportunity to go on this like expedition for the king. He wants to go to this source of water that's supposed to be like the source where all magic came from, and he needs the water in order to secure his like reign in the kingdom. And she has never had the opportunity to travel before or to be a naturalist, so going on this expedition for Lorelai is like her in to do all of the things that she wants in the world, but she has to go with her academic rival, who's Sylvia von something or other, Sylvia von Wolf. And then yeah, basically she's navigating unknown territory to her. There's like forests that change, and like all these magical creatures and stuff, and I am really excited. And also look how freaking gorgiana this book is. Hello, like I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed. So yeah, I think I will read this. It is supposed to be like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like it's giving dark academia, so it is supposed to be a little darker. However, I feel like it's not a horror, so I should be fine to not have nightmares with this book. Fingers crossed, because this one is gonna do it for me. Okay, here is my OOTD. Hello. Alright, honestly, I felt a lot cuter before I ate a lot and got bloated, but it is what it is. Also, I spilled everything all over me today. Last night I read A Dark and Drowning Tide, which I've decided is the prettiest book I own. Like, I am obsessed with this foil and like the blue, the like ocean vibes. It's giving the prettiest book for sure. Z's, she wins. In terms of content though, so I read like half of it, and I don't know how to explain. It's not that I don't like it. I just keep like forgetting to, like, I kept forgetting to pay attention. That was hard. And that I think it's because, especially like up until very, very recently, like the ambiance, the vibe of this book was very much giving, like A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. And I keep thinking in my brain that this is an Ava Reid book because it just felt like that vibe, like that like dark academia, but folklore, fairy tale-esque vibe that was in A Study in Drowning. But it's not her, so I'm trying to get it out of my head. This is like literally day and night from A Fragile Enchantment. Come on now, tell me these books don't have like complete opposite vibes to them. So, but same author. Shocking, I know. All right, so anyways, that's all I really have to say about it. I am starting to enjoy it a little bit more. I do like the development of some of like the creatures, the forests and stuff like that that's happening. So we'll see if I end up liking this. But I'm going to put it down right now because you know your girl needs to finish Sleep Tight before it gets dark out, because that book is so spooky. And that's the tea. So I'm going to try to read it and finish it as quickly as possible right now before it gets dark, because I definitely did have nightmares last night despite trying to block them. Won't. I have a clip in my hair because this is what I did. I had the book open in front of me while I finished. Okay, this is called multitasking, and this is also called avoiding your responsibilities with a book, because I had lots of things I needed to do tonight. I did 0 of them. I just finished my book. It is all right. I have decided Sleep Tight is getting 5 stars. And I don't have much to say about it. There was a lot going on, I'm not gonna lie to you. Lots of like random little point of views that would come up every once in a while. Different timelines and different things going on with different characters that all tied together. And it was very confusing. But this was spooky, scary, and excellent. And I'm obsessed. And everyone should read this. Actually, I don't think everyone should read it. Please check some trigger warnings or something. I don't know if they have them, but I felt the dark and scaries as I was reading this. And I also, okay, my nightmare last night. I dreamt that I was driving a motor vehicle and I was driving up a hill, and all of a sudden a small child, there are lots of small children in this book, FYI, a small child ran into the road and I hit the brakes and I literally stopped right in front of this child and like tapped them, like, and they were completely fine. And I was flipping the freak out, okay? And then also this child was apparently someone that worked at, that went to school where I work. So I had to see them and feel guilt all the time. It was a horrible dream, all right? No children were harmed in the dream. However, I don't like even the idea of that. So I needed to finish this early because it was stressing me out. But all right, we're gonna move on. And I'm having delusions of being able to finish A Dark and Drowning Tide today, even though it's only day 2 and I'm 2 books in. Ow, ow, ow. I feel I can do this. I don't know, y'all. I have to admit that this was a pretty ambitious goal, especially given that I work. And tomorrow I have to babysit my nieces. So I'm a little worried about what tomorrow is going to look like in terms of reading. So if I could get at least most of A Dark and Drowning Tide read today, then I'll be set for this challenge. That's the strategy. And then Wednesday, I also have to kick it up because well, I have a book club on Wednesday, a book club meeting on Wednesday, but it's virtual, and I already finished the book for that. So as long as I get a lot of reading done before and after that, I should be good on Wednesday. Thursday's the problem because I'm hosting book club and it's in person away from my house, so I don't have much opportunity to read. We'll see what happens. Also, I'm not a PJs person, but I put PJs on today. Hey, I'm proud of myself. I want to be that bougie girl who wears robes and PJs. You know what I mean? And has cute mugs in the evening time as she chats about books. Okay, bye. I'm gonna hate myself in 4 hours when I have to wake up, but I was reading A Dark and Drowning Tide? Question mark? Did I just forget the name of the book? Delulu. Anyways, I was reading it and it kind of got interesting, so I lost track of time. I have regrets. Bonjour. It is Wednesday, almost Thursday. I didn't do a lot of reading today, but I feel like we knew this, right? Because I was babysitting. I didn't want to take out a Deep and Drowning Tide. Why do I keep confusing the title of this book? I didn't want to take it out the house, and I did get it on Libby on my phone so that I could keep my special edition at home in pristine condition. And in the middle of the workday, I saw that it was expiring in 10 minutes, and I think I had 8 minutes left in the book. So I took a lunch break, I ordered a chocolate souffle, and I finished the last 8 minutes of the book. I ended up giving it 4 stars, which I'm kind of shocked because, like I mentioned, I kept forgetting to like pay attention, but something about like the ambiance and the vibe of the book, it was just giving what it needed to give. I was just sad that like I was so close to the end. I just had like 4 chapters and then suddenly there was spice. And if you know me, you know I don't like the spice. So those are my notes. Okay? Remove the spice, please. I just skipped it, to be honest. Literally made no difference in the reading experience that I skipped it. Yeah. That's book 3 in the books. 3, 4, book 4. Dinner with a Perfect Stranger. A Deep and Drowning Tide. Sleep Tight. Oh, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 3 books. Okay, I'm confused. Anyways, I did try to read while I was babysitting Big Swiss. This
book is about a girl who is a transcriber for a sex therapist or sex coach. And she is out in the wild and she recognizes the voice of one of the clients that the sex coach she works for has, and becomes obsessed, I think, or something like that. Anyways, I read like a total of 1 page, and then I just like, I couldn't do it. I'm not in the mood for this book right now. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's not the vibe right now. I hate being a mood reader, but it is what it is. This is why I can't like plan like themed vlogs, because I'm gonna hate the books if I force myself to read it when I'm not in the mood. Anyways, I was babysitting my niece who's 3, and she took my bookmark out and like crumpled it up, and I will take that as a sign to not force myself to read this book. So we're not gonna read it. I'll pick something else to add to the TBR, and I'll let you guys know in the morning, because I will not be reading anything else today. Happy Thursday. I have not read a single sentence since the last time I updated you. So I'm a little behind on this 7 books in 7 days challenge that I thought I was going to do. But I have hope and faith, okay? I am going to read The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. How beautiful is this edition? Right? I spoil myself. So I don't actually know what this book is about. I just heard a lot of people talking about it and saying that they loved it. The back says, inside every story is a secret, inside every marriage is a lie. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, I think this is a fantasy book. I had downloaded the audio on Libby. I listened to the first chapter and I was like, wow, this writing is going to be beautiful and amazing, fantastic, and I'm going to want to tab it. So I want to read this physically. So I went on the interwebs and then I saw this edition and I bought it because it was so pretty. And now I'm kind of like, why did I do that? Because I'm not going to want to tab in a book with sprayed edges because it's going to ruin the sprayed edge. Logic wasn't logicking. And the worst part is that like girl math is telling me I need to just buy a paperback copy of this book so I could tab it. And like, that's so toxic. I don't need to do that. I'm trying so hard not to do that. Okay, I haven't even read the book. I don't know if I love it. So why would I have 2 copies of a book that I don't even know if I like? So I'm gonna force myself to just read this and maybe tab it, maybe not, depending on how I feel. And that's the tea. In terms of a plan for how I'm going to get caught up, I have no idea, because there is absolutely no book on my physical TBR that I could read very quickly, except this one. The plan has failed epically. I also just got my fairy loot box though. First book is The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. Very pretty, very nice, very demure. And then the second book is The Gods Below by Andrea something or other, if I can unwrap it. The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart. And fun fact about this book, I had the adult book only subscription, so I got this book just alone, and then I finally got off the wait list for the adult and YA books. So now I have this adult and YA box, and I have 2 copies of The Gods Below because I forgot to cancel the other one. So I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe a giveaway. Let me know if you think that's a good idea and what I should do. All right. Man, I remember when it was the beginning of the year and I had faith
the beginning of the year, the beginning of the week, and I had faith that I was gonna read 7 books in 7 days, and I am at like 3.5, and it's already the last day of the week. Anyways, I think I can make it to 6, and I feel like that is, what's the word? I don't know, that word where you think like more of yourself than what you're actually capable of. But dream big, right? So I'm reading The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I'm actually like 5 or 6 chapters, I think 5 chapters in the epilogue left, and I feel like I can finish this quickly because I'm obsessed with this book, and that's the tea. And I'm not even going to say anything else. I'm just going to finish it. Well, the week is over. It was over yesterday. I only read 1 book. I finished The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. And I am obsessed with this book. I love it. I feel like, yes, there were some times where I maybe 100% wasn't following what was going on. Like, I'm still unclear about what the wife, like, is. Is she what I think, or is she not? I don't know. But either way, it definitely reminded me of this story I read in the Penguin Book of Mermaids. I read that in my mermaid vlog, if you want to see that. I thought that story was so eerie and, like, interesting, and it's so interesting how they tied it into this book and this story. It was a very different take on, like, fae and fantasy worlds than, like, what I've ever experienced before. And it also kind of, like, toes the line between, is this actually fantasy? Is this real life? Like, what's going on? I was more invested in, like, the points of views of Azure, who is, like, in the past, versus the points of views of the bridegroom, who's in the present. I just thought there was, like, something so, like, whimsical about that POV. It was fantastic. I gave it 4 stars. I just felt like there was, like, something that I wanted more, but I don't know what it is. But I still had a really good time. I'm so glad that I got, like, the physical book. And that's it for this week. I'm gonna end it here. If you made it this far, leave a flower for The Last Tale of the Flower Bride in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you want to join the family. I'll see you when I see you next. Bye.
Yes. Yes, they did.